Before headsets, before parties and invites, before usernames floating above heads, multiplayer meant space, physical space. It meant sitting close enough that your elbows touched, close enough that you could feel someone tense up before a big moment, close enough that you could hear their breathing change when things started to go wrong. You didn't connect to someone, you sat next to them, on a carpet worn flat in front of a TV that hummed when it warmed up, on a bed with a blanket pulled halfway off, on a sofa that dipped in the middle, forcing everyone closer than they planned. Controllers were wired, cables crossed over each other. Someone always sat too close to the screen, and no one cared. Because multiplayer didn't begin when the game started. It began when the door opened and someone said, "Put it on." There was a ritual to it. TV on first, console next. Cartridge or disc handled carefully. Controllers placed side by side like tools waiting to be used. And while the game loaded, you talked. About school, about who was better, about what happened last time. Those conversations mattered as much as the game itself. In the early days, multiplayer taught us cooperation before we even knew that's what it was doing. Golden Axe was one of the first. Two warriors, side by side, moving forward together. You learned quickly that going it alone didn't work. Someone always needed help. Someone always needed food. Someone always wasted magic at the wrong time and apologized instantly. "Sorry, didn't mean to." And you meant it, because if one of you failed, both of you paid for it. Streets of Rage took that feeling and turned it into something louder. Someone always chose the same character. Someone always walked too far ahead. Someone always accidentally punched the other player and swore it wasn't on purpose. And when the police car arrived, that flash of white filling the screen, you both leaned forward, every time. Not because you had to, because you shared the moment. Double Dragon taught us betrayal. You spent the entire game fighting together, surviving together, and then suddenly, without warning, the game turned you against each other. You remember that moment. The room always reacted. No way. It's you now. Controllers tightened, elbows pressed closer. Laughter turned nervous. Winning that fight wasn't just winning a game. It became a story you'd tell for years. Racing games changed the energy again. Mario Kart on the N64 was chaos in cartridge form. 4 players, 1 screen, no mercy. You didn't just race, you reacted. Someone shouted every time a shell flew past. Someone always accused someone else of targeting them specifically. Blue shells weren't just weapons, they were accusations. And when someone won at the last second, the room exploded. Real noise, real laughter, real disbelief. Micro Machines took everything and shrank it. That tiny screen, that shared space. If you fell behind, you vanished, which meant pressure unlike anything else. Heads leaned in so close they nearly touched. Someone always tried to distract someone else at the worst possible moment. It was cruel and brilliant. Then the PlayStation arrived, and with it came something new. Discs, loading screens, and multiplayer that felt heavier somehow. Tekken changed how we fought. It wasn't just buttons anymore. It was timing, spacing, reading the person next to you. You watched their hands. You knew when panic set in. Victories felt personal, so did losses. Crash Team Racing brought the Mario Kart energy with a different flavor, tighter, faster, meaner. Someone always insisted it was better. Someone else always disagreed. Both were right. GoldenEye on the N64 rewrote the rules entirely. 4 players, 1 screen. No excuses. Screen-looking accusations flew constantly. "Stop watching my screen," even though everyone was doing exactly the same thing. Slappers-only matches turned into laughter factories. Proximity mines ruined friendships temporarily. Someone always hid somewhere annoying and refused to come out. And yet, everyone stayed. Because being knocked out didn't mean leaving, it meant watching, and watching mattered. The Dreamcast arrived quietly. too quietly. But multiplayer on that machine felt special. Power Stone turned rooms into arenas, items flying everywhere, stages shifting beneath your feet, people screaming, laughing, barely able to keep track of what was happening. Soul Calibur felt elegant, serious, like you were playing something important. Characters clashed in ways that felt deliberate. Wins felt earned. And then there was Choo Choo Rocket. Chaos disguised as puzzle solving. Friends turned into rivals in seconds. Alliances formed and collapsed within moments. The PlayStation 2 brought scale. TimeSplitters turned living rooms into war zones. Bots filled the gaps. Maps felt endless. Someone always adjusted settings for far too long before the match started. SmackDown games brought wrestling arguments straight into the room. Finishers were celebrated, like real victories. Someone always insisted the match didn't count. Sports games thrived here. FIFA, Pro Evo, NBA Street. Someone always won. Someone always wanted a rematch. Someone always blamed the controller, but no one left. And that's the thing. Multiplayer meant commitment. You couldn't mute someone. You couldn't disconnect. If you got angry, you had to sit with it, next to the person who caused it. And that taught you something. How to lose gracefully. How to win without rubbing it in. How to share space. Late nights made everything softer, lights dimmed. TV volume low, parents asleep upstairs, someone struggling to stay awake. Bomberman caused chaos. Gauntlet drained health relentlessly. Someone always shouted, "Don't take that, I need it," and still, you pushed on, together. Eventually things changed. Screens got bigger, controllers went wireless, players drifted apart, multiplayer moved online, faster, cleaner, louder, but something didn't come with it. No elbows touching, no shared silence, no laughter bouncing off the same walls, and every now and then, even now, you feel it. When someone sits beside you, when a second controller is picked up, when a game suddenly feels fuller than it should, because multiplayer was never really about competition. It was about company, about sharing a moment that only existed because you were both there. Those rooms don't exist anymore, but the feeling does, and it always will.
Retro hearts forever amplified.